Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with this Driveshaft safety loop from BMR for all 2011 to 2014 GT and V6s and all 2012 to 2013 Boss Mustangs. The BMR Driveshaft safety loop is going to be for the Mustang owners out there that are doing some racing or launches and want to keep things safe. If you're drag racing your Mustang, I'm sure that you already know that there's a certain point where you need the Driveshaft safety loop in order to pass tech, and the BMR front loop here is NHRA legal. If you don't already know, the whole idea of a driveshaft safety loop like this one here is to contain the driveshaft and keep it in place in the event of a U-joint or driveshaft failure. If your driveshaft or U-joint fail and you don't have a loop to catch it, it's going to hit the ground, which can be a scary event and can even flip the car over. The NHRA requires the use of a driveshaft safety loop if your car is running faster than a 13.99 with slicks or an 11.49 on a street tire in the quarter mile. So there are a few different options when it comes to a loop, but the BMR here is made from a 1/4 inch thick steel plate. Now you can see the thickness of it right here. This is definitely a solid piece, and then it's coated with a black hammer tone powder, and it's even designed to be an easy bolt-on that uses the existing mounting holes, so there's no drilling or welding required, and it's going to fit both manual and automatic cars. The only thing it's not going to fit is the GT500 model. And there are some different options out there as far as the safety loop goes. Lakewood and JPC Racing have some offerings, but they're going to cost more than the BMR option here. The only thing I will say about this loop is that it may require some shimming if you're using an aftermarket one-piece driveshaft. The loop is a close fit for safety over the factory driveshaft, so just be mindful of that. Now we are going to install this loop with an aluminum one-piece driveshaft so you can see what I'm talking about. As far as price, you're going to be looking at spending a little over $100 for the BMR here, but like I said, there are some other options like Lakewood and JPC, but those are more expensive. And the BMR does have a rear tunnel brace for the safety loop, which is a little bit different design than this if you want to check that out too. So the install here is really pretty easy. I'm going to call it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the scale, and it should take about an hour or two to get everything wrapped up and ready to go. As far as tools, you're looking at needing a few sockets, a 3/8 drive ratchet or impact, and a 9/16 wrench. As usual, a lift is really going to make things easier here, but if you've got some jack stands, those will work too. And one last thing, you'll need a torque wrench. You don't want to be doing this thing without torquing things down properly. Once the car is up and supported on a lift or jack stands, you're going to want to support the trans with a jack, so you can loosen the 2 trans mounting nuts and remove the 4 crossmember bolts so you can drop the crossmember. Insert the provided trans mount spacer into the crossmember and hold the BMR driveshaft loop mounting plate and OE crossmember up into place with the BMR driveshaft loop mounting plate positioned between the OE crossmember and the floor pan. Insert the provided bolts and washers, then torque to 85 foot-pounds. After that, you can torque down your trans mounts and install the driveshaft safety loop. It goes over the smaller portion of the driveshaft. And this is where you might need to shim the loop so you can fit it over an aluminum one-piece driveshaft. You can see how we did it here. The 3/8 bolts are then to be torqued to 40 foot-pounds, and then you're ready to go. Wrapping things up here, a driveshaft safety loop is a necessary safety device if you plan on hitting the drag strip, and it can bring a lot of peace of mind if you're planning on some hard launches. BMR's front safety loop is a 1/4 inch thick and will work with both a factory and an aftermarket driveshaft. It's easy to install, and it's also on the less expensive side of the offerings, and you can check it out more online right here at AmericanMuscle.com.